Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So for this week, we are exploring some of our Virginia Reader's Choice teen titles that are nominated for the 2022-2023 award. Now here's what's amazing about this book award, is there are 10 books that are nominated by a committee, but then you as the readers get to choose which one it is you would like to win. You're going to be able to read as many of these 10 books as you want, and then you vote for which one you think is the best, which one you think should be the winner. Then the votes are counted, and the winners are announced. Now, there are 10 nominees for this. Each are a little bit different, and what I love about this award and this opportunity is you get to read something that maybe you normally wouldn't read, maybe you normally wouldn't pick up, but that's the beauty of it. You get to explore new things. Now there are 10 books nominated, but we're going to take a look at 6. Some of them are my favorites from this past year. Some may become your favorites from this year. So let's get started. Our first one is The Inheritance Games. So this one is first in a trilogy. It's getting ready to come out, the last one, in a couple of weeks. So you'll want to read this one. Avery Grams is just trying to survive and graduate high school. Her mother is dead. Her father, she has no idea where he's ended up. And she's living in her car with her half-sister. Her half-sister's a waitress. She's just trying to make ends meet so they can have food. Avery's just trying to fly under the radar, and she really wants to go to art school. But that's probably not going to happen. She's just trying to be realistic. So everything changes one day though, when she gets called to the office at school and she walks in, and there's a man there she's never seen. And this person tells her that she has been included in the will of the late billionaire Tobias Hawthorne. And she doesn't know who this person is. This family member that's there in the office with her, he has no idea who she is. They have no idea what the connection is, but he tells her she has to come to Texas in order for this will to be read. So that's what Avery does. She goes to Texas for this will to be read. And when she gets there, when the will's read, what she finds out changes her life. Now, there's a lot of problems that come with this though, and before she knows it, Avery is playing games both literally and figuratively, which could possibly end with her life being cut off. Yeah, she has no idea what's going to happen. Now, this mystery puzzle solving book is filled with twists and turns, which you won't see coming. You may think you know what's going to happen, but it won't. Loved this one. You do have to read it in order. We do have books 1 and 2 already. Again, books 3 is coming out here in a couple of weeks. The Inheritance Games. Lots away. Okay, so 17-year-old Apache teen Ellie. She's living in Texas where she has supernatural occurrences on a daily basis, especially since she has this skill that she can raise things from the dead. There is one rule though she has to follow. She is not allowed to raise anything that's human from the dead. That's a big no-no. So when her cousin is murdered, okay, even though it looks like it's a car accident, he comes to her in a dream and he tells her, look, I was murdered. Here's the person that murdered me. It's going to be up to you to take care of this. It's going to be up to you to get me some justice here. When she decides to explore this, to figure out what exactly has happened, what's going on, she starts to unravel secrets which change everything and everyone she knows in the life she has ever lived, known, explored, that type of stuff. As she starts to dig further, nothing's ever going to be the same. This murder mystery meets supernatural meets indigenous culture and folklore is unlike any book you have ever read before. Highly recommend it, especially if you want to try something new, especially that maybe you normally wouldn't pick up. This is a great choice, a lot's away. Not so pure and simple. So Del and his best friend Juan, they are known all over school for their conquests and their wild times with girls from their town, but Del has always had a crush on his classmate Kira Weston. She has basically though been unavailable due to her relationship. She's always been dating this guy in their class. When word gets out though that there's been a breakup, Del knows this is his time to make his move. When he gets dragged to church by his mom, Kira's there as well. And when he's not paying attention to what exactly is going on in the service, he sees her gets up. When it's time, when something's said, she gets up, she goes to the front of the church, and he decides he's gonna join her because he wants to be up there with her. He has no idea though what he's standing up for. And that's when he finds out that he's actually joining a Purity Pledge group. What started as him having no intention of following through with this group, Dell starts to find himself challenged in evaluating his own behaviors towards girls, and maybe that his behavior needs to change as well. And then he also starts to make friends with people he never would have given a second thought to. Filled with so many topics, there's conversations, this frank look at relationships and how males and females see each other, complete with laugh out loud, and I will tell you this, there are some pretty awkward moments. It's one that's a must read, one of my favorites from the past year. This is not so pure and simple. This is My America. So when Tracy's father was accused of murder and then found guilty and sentenced to death, she always believed that he didn't do it. He always said he was innocent. She believes him. Years later, that's all she wants to do, is she wants to prove him innocent, especially since his death date is getting closer. But she knows she can't do it by herself. She knows she needs help. So it's when her brother Jamal is being interviewed by a TV station locally, she hijacks the spotlight and she sheds light onto their situation. And when she does this, she actually does gain some attention from a national group known as Innocence X, which is kind of like the Innocence Project, what we have today. Things quickly start to get more complicated though, when a white girl from their town, especially from their high school, shows up dead. And Jamal, her brother, is the #1 suspect. Tracy not only has to prove her father's innocence, as well as her brother's, and there's going to be times when it seems like everyone and everything is against her. This realistic mystery is nonstop, and we'll be guessing at every turn of the page. And you're gonna be wondering what's gonna happen to both Tracy's father and Jamal. This is My America. Like, this light between us, loved this one. So Alex Mackey gets a pen pal. He's assigned a pen pal in elementary school when he's 10 years old, and he's accidentally paired with this girl named Charlie. Now, his teacher doesn't think she's a girl because of her name, but that's who he gets paired with. And she's living in France. Alex doesn't really want to write her, but 6 years later, they are still writing each other, and they've developed this incredible friendship through their letters. 6 years later, it's 1941. Everything has changed in the world. With the bombing of Pearl Harbor in December of that year, Alex, being Japanese American, he finds himself being forced out of his home, his town, and being sent to an internment camp. Charlie is a Jew living in France when the Nazis invade. You read about both of their experiences through Alex's stories and Charlie's letters to him. And when Alex finds himself through a series of events, which you learn about in this story, he finds himself fighting in Europe with the army. He knows, especially given how her letters have been, he knows he needs to find Charlie, and he needs to do anything he can in order to make sure she is safe. This heart-wrenching historical fiction story is one that will open your eyes and your hearts to what teens experienced during this time, and it will stick with you long past the end of the book. I loved this story, This Light Between Us. And our last one for this week is All 13. Now, on June 28th, 2018, 12 members of the Wild Boar soccer team, as well as their coach, they decide that after soccer practice, they're going to explore a nearby cave in Thailand, where they live. What would happen next, though, would be something that would capture the attention of the world for the next 18 days, as they quickly find themselves trapped when a monsoon comes out of nowhere. The water floods the cave, and they are trapped inside this cave with no way out. This amazing story will take you through everything that happened over the course of the rescue effort, beginning, middle, end, every single step in between. And this was made in hopes of rescuing all 13 individuals that were inside this cave. You will not be able to put this one down. Even if you know what happens, right? It was a huge news story a couple years ago. Even if you know what happens, you will learn so much and find yourself making decisions along with everyone along the way. What would you do if you found yourself in these situations? The way technology helped with the rescue effort is pretty incredible as well, and it's amazing how the author explores that. This non-stop, action-packed, non-fiction adventure, totally true, totally happened. It's highly recommended. You won't be able to stop, and it's filled with some amazing pictures. This is all 13. So these are 6 of the 10 books that have been nominated for the Virginia VRC High School Award for this year. So if you want to participate, come on down. Check out some of these. Or again, take a look at the poster because there's 4 others we didn't talk about today that are also on the list as well. You read them, you don't even have to read all of them, just read a handful of them, and you can vote for your favorite. And then the winner will be announced, and you'll see which book was named the best of the 10. I hope you tune back next week. We have a whole new teen book spotlight, and I hope you have an amazing week.